Okay, Mrs. Ferris. I need a true version of all this.
I've already told you that I found her when I came back from work.
Really? And when were you planning to tell me that your daughter had a brain tumor? Not only that, Mrs. Ferris, but she was being treated by Dr. Mark Cleveland, who happens to work at the same hospital you do. But there's more, Mrs. Ferris. How come you didn't know that your beloved daughter was given no more than 6 months of life?
Stop! I'll tell you everything. I didn't know about the tumor. I loved my daughter. I would have never let her keep on working if I had known about the tumor. I mean, I only learned that she had a brain tumor the day before. I was devastated. She didn't ask me to go home earlier the day she died. She had asked me the previous day. That's when she told me she had a tumor. I felt so guilty and desperate that I started cleaning the house. I had to do something with my hands to see if my mind would stop thinking about it.
And then, Mrs. Ferris?
And then I barely remember how I spent the night. I was in denial. I was trying to convince myself that it was not true. We had breakfast and went to work together. I never mentioned the disease. I was acting as if nothing was really happening, as if it were an ordinary day. That's what I was trying to convince myself of. But then at lunchtime, it was like a bomb hitting the ground. And things started to make sense. I mean, she had just finished paying off the mortgage. And she knew about the tumor for like a year then. And she had decided to tell me the day before. For God's sake, what did she intend to do? I ran back home during my lunchtime. I was desperate. I didn't even talk to anybody. I got home and I saw her lying on the bed. There were still 2 pills in her hands. She was not dead, but she was unconscious by then. I know that medicine, detective. I'm a nurse. I knew what had happened. She had just taken the pills to kill herself. I could not let that happen. So, I took the pillow and I killed her with my own hands. Then I left. I left her there and went back to work.
What? You are a fucking nurse. You are supposed to take care of people's lives. Why didn't you call 911? Why didn't you call the ambulance? Something? We went back to work and nobody realized you went home during your lunchtime and killed your own daughter. That's what happened, Mrs. Ferris.
No, detective. What happened was that I felt that there wouldn't be enough time for Susan to get to the hospital. And then, detective, what if I decided to take her to the hospital and she didn't make it?
At least you would have fucking tried, Mrs. Ferris.
Trying is not enough. Tell me, detective, what would have happened if she didn't make it to the hospital?
If she didn't make it? You don't seem to understand what you have done. Your daughter would be just as dead as she is now after you killed her.
Maybe to you, detective. Maybe in this world. But I'm pretty sure she's in a much better place right now than she would be if she had killed herself. If anybody has to go to a bad place, let it be me, not my daughter. I would never allow her to die if I wasn't sure she would be side by side with God.
I'm afraid to say, Mrs. Ferris, you are under arrest.